All right, how's it going, everybody? My name is Adrian Carmona, and I am once again excited to be with you all for another edition of the Varsity Live Pregame Show. A lot of big games this week. It is crazy to think that now we have hit the last week of regular season high school football. It feels like just yesterday we just started with this, and now it's crazy. We've gone about 8-9 weeks into the season, and playoffs are just right around the corner. Very hard to believe, but time flies when you're having fun with this. So we have a lot of games to preview today. Horizon, Brophy, for some flag football. We're going to get to Saguaro and Mountain View, and also some Vegas football. So very packed schedule for you all today. Very excited to share everything. Make sure to follow us on all of our social media and such. And honestly, let's just get right into it. So we're going to start off with Nicholas Anderson. He's going to give us a pregame report on Vegas football. It is pre-recorded, but he'll be giving us that pregame nonetheless.
This is Nicholas Anderson from the Hanks Greenspun School of Journalism at UNLV reporting sports show. Tonight, we have a massive matchup in the 5A division playoffs in Nevada featuring the number 4 ranked Liberty Patriots and the 5th ranked Foothill Eagles. Tonight, we'll feature two of the most elusive quarterbacks in the state of Nevada, starting with Liberty's own Elijah Espinoza. When these two teams previously met, Liberty ended up winning 40-7 on top of Elijah's 14 of 21 for 222 on 66 completion percentage, 2-touchdown game against the Eagles. Despite the loss, though, the Eagles had their very own quarterback, Brendan Author, throwing 16 for 29 passes for 243 yards on 55 completion percentage alongside a touchdown, but he did throw 2 interceptions. The keys to the game are simple. Liberty just has to stay clean. No turnovers. That's what Elijah Espinoza has been able to do all season. He only has 5 interceptions on the season alongside 16 touchdowns. As for the Foothill Eagles, it's to get the run game going. In 2 games this season, they have had 2 games where they have rushed for under 30 yards, including the game against Liberty this season. That's going to be the massive test for the Eagles. The winner of this game will get the opportunity to play one and only the number 1 ranked Nevada team in the state, Bishop Gorman. They're also ranked 4th nationally. Alongside, there are some key players to look out for Liberty. Arnenza Salilivi, the running back. In that game, he had 8 carries for 128 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's a force to be reckoned with. Alongside the Eagles' receiving core, Braxton Burnett. He had 4 catches and 155 yards in that loss. Watch out for Joseph Mitchell. He also had 2 catches for 28 yards and a touchdown against Liberty. These are 2 teams that can put up a lot of points in a hurry, and it should be a shootout in the first game of the Nevada playoffs. From the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Nicholas Anderson.
All right. Thank you to Nicholas for giving us that pregame report. So the first game we're going to preview is going to be, the Horizon game. We're going to bring up Julia now for her pregame report on that game. Julia, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great.
So I'm currently here at ALA Gilbert. They're playing Horizon today. It's some of the last games before playoffs. It's Horizon's last game. ALA Gilbert has one more game. Gilbert is currently 6-3 on the season, and Horizon is 8-1 on a 5-game winning streak, defeating Cactus Shadows last week 41-20, and they were ranked. So Horizon's been on fire this entire season, but this game is still going to be a really exciting game. It's going to be a tough game, and it's going to be interesting to see how they do heading into playoffs in the next couple weeks.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, you said it yourself. Horizon's one of the top teams right now, running a 5-game win streak, and we'll see tonight if they keep that momentum going.
For sure.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you so much, Julie, for joining us once again. Have a good night. All right. Big thanks to Julia for her pregame report on the Horizon game. Next game we're going to take a look at tonight is going to be the Brophy game. So Brophy, as a team, they're also 8-1, so it's very similar to Horizon. They're going to take on South Point Catholic tonight. Brophy is coming off of a 31-24 win out of Mountain Point, and they're currently riding a 3-game win streak. Vandenmosh, their quarterback, once again having a fantastic season this year. He's currently their leading passer and rusher. And South Point is 6-2 themselves. They're coming off of a 28-16 win over Saguaro last week, and they're riding a 2-game win streak of their own. So we're going to take it over to Griffin for his pregame report on the Brophy game. Griffin, how's it going?
Good. How are you, Adrian?
Doing great.
Yeah, so we're really excited for this game. It should be pretty good. Two pretty big powerhouses in different regions. But South Point, we just went to the South Point game last week, and they beat Saguaro. And that was a pretty close game, but South Point kind of proved that they were better on the line of scrimmage. They have a really good defense. South Point does. They have Dinos Drosos, who really big dude. Also, a few other really good players, but I'm really excited for Brophy because it's a team I haven't seen play before, but they actually have a really stacked receiving core. They have Larry Fitzgerald's son, Devin Fitzgerald, as well as Jaden Fitzgerald, I think they're brothers. Also, Donovan McNabb Jr. and also Darren I'm forgetting his last name, but just a lot of NFL, a lot of football is in their DNA. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah. I'm really excited, but yeah, it should be a good game for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's kind of crazy that we're at the point where Larry Fitzgerald's son is playing football, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah, and I was looking for Larry. I was like, is he gonna make the trip down to Tucson? But I don't think he did, unfortunately. Yeah,
that would have been really cool to see.
It'd be really cool to meet Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for joining us once again tonight, Griffin. Hope you have a good night.
Thank you too. Have a good night.
All right. Big thanks to Griffin for his pregame report on the Brophy game. Also kind of crazy to see that Larry Fitzgerald's son. He's actually been very good for Brophy this year too, which is kind of crazy. Wonder if in a few years we'll see him getting drafted, but crazy to think about. So we're now going to take it over to Jesse Davis, who's going to be giving us a bit of an update on some flag football. Jesse, how's it going?
It's going good. How are you doing, Adrian?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, so last night, me and Layla had the call for varsity, and we had the Sunnyside Blue Devils traveling from Tucson to take on Xavier College Prep Gators. And the Blue Devils, they got the job done thanks to a game-winning field goal by senior Cassandra Flores with just over a minute left in the game, and they won 6-3. So this was kind of a great game in a lot of senses. You had two teams kind of going in different directions, with Xavier Prep coming into the game with a record of 5-6, and then Sunnyside with a record of 9-4. So Xavier Prep trying to finish the season strong, and Sunnyside looking in towards the playoffs. And this was a great game. Very defensive. Yards were hard to come by, and so was the end zone, as of course neither team found the end zone, with the score being 6-3. And Sunnyside was led by junior quarterback Anissa Lerma, who did a great job of using her legs all night. It was very evident. Xavier did a good job of containing her, but she was able to use her legs, pick up multiple first downs into the next zones. And Sunnyside, they did really well, obviously, with the win. They were up 3-0 at halftime, kind of had all the momentum. And then coming into the second half, Xavier Prep came out really strong. Looked like they were going to find the end zone, but credit to Sunnyside. They stopped them and forced them to a field goal. And it was a 3-3 game, with the game kind of in the balance there in the last couple minutes. And then Sunnyside had a great drive to end the game with a minute and a half left, had an amazing walk-off game-winning field goal that was probably, I want to say, a 30-yarder, so not easy by any mark. And, two well-coached teams, with Alfredo Lerma being the head coach of Sunnyside, and then Michael Patterson with Xavier Prep. So well-coached teams, great defense overall. Defense was the story of the night, and really was fun to watch.
Yep, absolutely. Very good post-game report there. I mean, as you said, defense really just stout the entire game, but sometimes that makes for really interesting football that's being played. But yeah, thank you so much, Jesse, for your report. Hope you have a good night.
You too.
Sorry about that. But yeah, thank you very much to Jesse for his post-game report on that game. We are going to now give a little bit of a preview on the next matchup. It's going to be Saguaro versus Pinnacle. So Saguaro's 1-7 on the year. Pinnacle 5-2. Saguaro is coming off of a 28-16 loss against South Point last week, and Pinnacle is coming off of a 41-38 win over Centennial. So a tale of two teams going forward this year for this game. We're going to take it over to Samuel, who's going to be giving us the pregame report on the Saguaro game. Sam, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you? I'm here at Pinnacle. Players are on the field here warming up. It's the last game of the season, so Saguaro obviously not the season that they had hoped for, but they are hoping to end off strong to set the tone for going into next season. Pinnacle still has stuff to play for, so they're not looking to sleepwalk through this game. I think I've noticed Saguaro get better every single game that I've been in. So I think Saguaro is going to be very good for next season. But for Pinnacle, they can't take it easy on Saguaro tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you said it yourself. I mean, even though Saguaro is 1-7, I don't think their record really, dictates the actual talent that's on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, I've taken a look at some of those games, and you're right. I mean, I think they have looked better every single week, especially defensively. I mean, I believe those first 5 games are giving up over 30 points a game, but they've improved, and I really do think that Darius Kelly is the guy for them. Obviously, first year as a head coach, there's obviously going to be some missteps, but I think they have a perfect opportunity tonight to really, get some momentum going into next season and make some noise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Well, thank you so much, Sam, for your pregame report. Hope you have a good night.
Thank you.
All right. So that was Sam with his pregame report on Saguaro. Next game and the final game we're going to preview is Mountain View, 8-1, taking on Red Mountain. What a season it's been for Mountain View. They're 8-1, as we just said. They're coming off of a 50-0 win over Cesar Chavez. And take a look at this stat. They have scored at least 50 points in their last 6 games. So this is a historic offense we're witnessing right now. Red Mountain is coming off a loss to Hamilton 30-28, and they have a lot to play for tonight as well. They've lost the last 2 games they've lost their last 2 games, so they desperately need a win tonight to keep their keep their season alive and get back on the win column. But yeah, that statistic for Mountain View is just absolutely ridiculous. Scoring 50 points is hard enough. Scoring at least 50 in 6 straight games is something I've never heard of in my life. That's just absolutely ridiculous from what I've seen. But yeah, no, it's absolutely ridiculous what they're doing. They're 8-1. They've looked like honestly the best team in that area right now. And yeah, we're going to take it over now to Douglas, who's going to be giving us the pregame report on that game. Douglas, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing great.
So I'm out here at Mountain View High School, and Red Mountain comes in at 7-2, and Mountain View comes in at 8-1. It's a top tier matchup tonight. Red Mountain is second in their division, but they're number 4 in Arizona, and Mountain View is number 12 in Arizona, but are leading their division and are trying to go for that 1 seed in the playoffs.
Yep. Should be a really good game. I mean, these two teams are, have been very good this season. I'm really hoping for a great matchup.
Yeah, can you repeat that again?
No, I'm just saying it should be an absolutely great matchup. I mean, 2 of the top teams in the country right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mountain View, they're coming in winning 6 straight. So the team is really feeling confident right now, trying to go out here and finish the season strong, at least the regular season that is. And Red Mountain, on the other hand, although they're ranked number 4 in Arizona, they've lost 2 straight. So kind of trying to have a get-right game before they head into the playoffs.
Yep, absolutely. You hit the nail right on the head. Well, thank you so much, Douglas. I hope you have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, so that was Douglas with his pregame report on the Mountain View game. Once again, I mean, just scoring 50 points in the last 6 games really propelling that team right now. We'll see what they can do with that come playoff time. But with that, that'll wrap up this edition of the Varsity Live pregame show as we hit the last week of regular season football in Arizona. It's been a pleasure being with you all throughout this season. We will still be here. Varsity Sports won't be going anywhere. We have a lot of more sports to cover, but at least for the regular season of Arizona high school football, this will be it. Make sure to tune in to the post-game show. We'll be recapping all these games that we just previewed, and tune into the Varsity National Live post-game show. We'll be giving you some recaps of East Coast high school football. Just to give you a little bit of a teaser to that, by the way, very interesting story coming from Florida high school football, where 9-time state champion Miami Central, that high school, they're being forced, listen to this, they're being forced to forfeit all 9 of their regular season games this year. That sounds crazy. You're probably wondering, hey, what did they possibly do to do that? And it's actually kind of crazy. Apparently, Miami Central has used a 5th-year high school student athlete to their 8-1 record, according to FHSAA, which is the Florida High School Athletic Association. This would drop Miami Central to 0-9, obviously, because they would be forced to forfeit all their games. And yeah, they're probably going to miss the playoffs when, yeah, that's a little bit of a teaser there, but an absolutely crazy story coming from Florida high school football. Make sure you guys tune into that Varsity National Live show. But with that, my name is Adrian Carmona, signing off from the Varsity Sports Show. Hope you all have a good night.